Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We are joined by Coach Roy Austin. It's so good to have you here. You always, this gentleman, you always have so much going on. You just quietly give. It's so wonderful to see what you're up to. And so you have a new organization, Libraries for Kids.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Carrie. Appreciate you having me on the show.
Of course.
And give the opportunity to talk about libraries for kids.
Yeah, this was one of those things that just sort of, you went on a trip. And you kind of had one thing in mind, and then something totally different happened. You had a totally different takeaway.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about your trip to Africa.
Well, I went the last September, and I went to see the animals.
Yeah.
The trip had a lot of cultural experiences of visits to homes and schools and villages, and I didn't care about that. I just wanted to see the animals in the wild while they're still in the wild.
Yeah, exactly.
But I fell in love with the people. They're just so warm and interesting. And
You were in Kenya?
Yeah, well, I was in 5 different countries.
Oh, okay,
so.
okay.
But on a visit to a school in Kenya, which was really the highlight, sitting down with these kids who all spoke English, so it was just great. One of the people in our group asked the teacher, "Do you have a library?" And the teacher said, "No, but we'd love to." And I couldn't get that out of my head.
Yeah, the idea was it took hold of you.
And I kept thinking, surely I could get some books donated and ship them over there.
Yeah.
And so I came back, and one thing led to another. We got our tax exemption back in May, and got a nice website up there that was done by a lady who lives in Kenya, or who is Kenyan. We've successfully shipped 130 pounds of books over there to that school.
Yeah.
And I have a list of 11 other schools that we can help.
These underserved schools that just need some books.
Well, the Kenyan government gives very little support to the rural schools. If you want a school building, you build it yourself. So they'll supply a teacher, and some books, maybe replace them every 10 years or whatever, but they don't have the money for a lot of support of the rural schools. But what impressed me so much about this school was that it was located next to a tribe of Maasai. And this Maasai tribe had changed their whole way of life so that their children can get an education. Maasai are historically nomadic herdsmen.
Yeah.
They take their goats and sheep and cattle wherever the grass is. But school buildings can't move.
Right, exactly.
So they have
adjusted.
stayed more permanently next to the school, which puts the warriors at greater risk, because now they have to take the herds farther away to graze, and they may be gone 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time. There's lions and leopards and so forth out there, so they're at greater risk, but education is that important to them.
That's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And this is really an interesting time for you to be doing this, because we've had this, books are, I hate to say it, books are almost sort of a thing of the past for some people, So what a great, and how, can we just give you books, or what can we do to get these books to you?
Right. And,
not that books are a thing of the past, but I mean, people have
I know
transitioned so much into electronic books that, how many, we have books around.
And they don't have the electrical capacity to support a bank of tablets or whatever, or computers. So
I mean, they just don't have the infrastructure.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, we've now, just this past week, got storage space so we can start accepting books other than my garage.
Great
is
things
full.
come out of garages. Great things can come out of garages.
And but now our biggest needs, now that we have storage, is money, because it costs money to ship
those books.
To ship those books over there.
Yeah.
Encyclopedias are great. Small dictionaries. Somebody donated one that was about that thick. I said, no, that's a little bit overkill.
Yeah.
But
knowledge-based books. Do you need kid books? Do you need easy reading
on
stuff?
On the website, there's which is librariesforkids.org.
Okay.
The number 4, libraries, the number 4, kids.org.
There's a whole list of what your needs are.
There's a list of the types of books, and they're basically supplemental reading to their curricula.
Oh, great.
And, some storybooks for children basically age 6 to 18.
Gotcha. Well, let's get you some books.
Yeah.
Let's get you some books. Libraries for the number kids.org. Coach Roy Austin, always into something interesting and fabulous. Thanks so much for doing what you do.
My pleasure.
We'll drum up some books for you. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town.